Hey scoundrels, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing well. If you would like to be a scoundrel, there's a subscription button down below, and also thanks to G2A for sponsoring the channel. So in today's video, we're going to be going over one of my new favorite ships, the Worm, and I'm going to give credit to a Reddit post that kind of inspired me to buy this ship and test out the fit. And I'm going to link that Reddit post down in the description below. We're going to go through the fittings. We're going to go through some necessary skills, because this is one of those ships that needs skills to work with the current setup. And then we're going to go and show you the Worm in action in one of the kind of the tier 6, tier 7 news encounter missions. So I'll see you there. Okay, so first of all, let's take a look at some skills that you're going to need to make this ship work. Specifically, Frigate Engineering and Advanced Frigate Engineering 5 are a must. If you don't have these in conjunction with one of the rigs that we're going to talk about in the fittings section, you're not going to be able to run medium rapid missiles. And there's lots of lots of minor adjustments you can make with the fitting to suit the style of play that you want, which we're going to talk about once we get to that stage. But these two skills are an absolute must. I would also recommend Frigate Command, and also recommend Afterburner use. So Frigate Command and Afterburner, both really important here. Then also, on top of that, we're going to want to have our medium missile skills. So you can see here that I'm working on my medium missile skills, which I've got pretty much completed through the board. I'm really not looking forward to the medium missile nerfs that will be coming in the relatively near future. Or rather the medium rapid missile nerfs, which are obviously the only good medium missile launcher. Small drone operation, advanced small drone operation being the absolutely key one. I do not have the skills in that yet because I'm still working towards it. Small drone upgrade and advanced small drone upgrade, of course, also really important. You don't need that many skills in the normal drone. So normal drone here, you could just probably have 3 or 4 and it would be perfectly fine. We're not that bothered about drone range as long as it's 20 kilometers. You're in the range that you want to be kiting at, and that's the most important skills that you need for this particular ship. Okay, so what about the Worm itself? This is one of my favorite ships right now. It's a frigate, two drone slots, 2 high slots, so effectively 4 weapon slots, 3 mids, 3 lows, and 3 rigging slots of each type. The roll bonus, 175% small drone damage with 200% small drone effective HP. You're going to get 10% small drone damage per advanced small drone operation level, and then you're going to get also per advanced frigate command bonus some missile damage and shield resistances. It's a really good all-round frigate with a great base velocity, making it a very quick ship as well, allowing you to speed tank. I love this ship. Let's take a look at the fittings. So I don't actually have the required skills to run everything that I'd want to on this ship right now. Before we get into the actual fittings, let's talk about the rigs, because this rig right here, Ancillary Power Grid 2, it's expensive, but it is the most important rig for this ship because it's going to give you a 10% power grid booster, which is going to put you up towards 94. 94 is where you can run everything effectively. We're then going to have auxiliary thrusters. If you can afford auxiliary thrusters 2, feel free to go for it. I went for auxiliary thrusters 1 because they were cheaper. Drone firepower and drone speed augmenter, both of which are quite cheap for their level 2 tier 2 versions. And then I've got a bay loading accelerator 1. Luckily, once medium rapids get nerfed, I envision a lot of the like accessory missile stuff to get a drop in price. So hopefully all of us missile users will have access to slightly cheaper but better stuff. Okay, so I would be running 2 stasis webifiers here, or a stasis webifier and a warp disruptor, depending on what I was intending on doing. But because I don't have the power grid for it yet, and I'm going to be orbiting PvE encounters at 20 kilometers, I have no need for really anything here. So I'm not going to bother too much on this side of things. I'm running 2 Mark 7 Hobgoblins. But those are kind of personal preference and what kind of rats that you're facing. But I just find that the thermal damage and drones are usually, I think the Galente drones, I think they're usually the most like all-round applicable. So that's why I've got them. I'm running 2 Challenger medium missile launchers. The reason I'm running Challenger is they require 2 power grid output less than the Republic fleet mediums. So I could run Republic fleet mediums, but and this is kind of the decision that you can make. You could even run Mark 7 and free up more power grid if you want. It's all about power grid balancing with this ship. But I'm running 2 Challenger medium missile launchers, or medium rapid missile launchers, because they free up 4 extra power grid. Now, in the Reddit post, you'll notice that there is a booster, an afterburner, and then he's also running a damage control unit, or you can also run an adaptive shield hardener. I've decided to downgrade my missiles ever so slightly to run a drone damage amplification unit, because that's going to give me a huge boost in drone damage, and the majority of the damage that comes from this ship is coming from or it should be once you get the skills. Okay, so whilst it doesn't show you here that the majority of it's coming from the drones, once you get the skills, the majority of your damage is going to come from your drones, which is why I'm going to be running the drone damage application. But what I could do is, so if I wanted to free up a bit more space here and I wanted to go for the Fleet Republics, so you're going to notice I'm going to go down and find my Republic Fleet medium missile launchers. Republic Fleet medium missile launchers, there we go. You'll notice that my DPS is actually slightly lower, but I am obviously going to have slightly more effective HP. But because it's only about 1 DPS lower and I don't really have the skills for the drone damage amplification unit, this is the setup that I'm going to run. You could also run a damage control unit, because the damage control unit is like a, oh crap, I need to warp. And, you know, I think if you want to run that, ooh, bloody hell, what I've just done here. If you wanted to run that here, I think it's one, yeah, so you could just run the damage control unit, which would give you like a get out of jail free card in like a tough situation, which honestly I would recommend. I actually think I prefer the damage control unit over the adaptive shield hard, and the reason being is that if I suddenly start taking a lot of damage and I want to warp out, the damage control unit is going to allow me to potentially align, maybe get out of a warp disruptor range and just sort of get out of dodge, you know. So that's why I would be tempted to run this over anything else when I'm doing PvE encounters. But because my missile skills are currently better than my drone skills, I'm going to run the Republic Fleet medium missile setup, because the DPS is only ever so slightly lower than using the drone amplification unit, and this is the setup that I'm going to run for the video today. Okay guys, what we're going to do is we are going to go to our mission section here. We are doing the AI Advanced Awakening. For anyone that doesn't know, this is a if I just show you, this is a 1.5 mil. I believe it's a tier 7 mission. So it's just like, you know, a casual tier 7 story mission, or just a news encounter mission. No elites, I don't think, but either way we should be perfectly fine. And we are then going to go to the mission center here, and we are going to orbit it. We're going to immediately pop our afterburner, and then we are just going to look at these guys. And I've got an auto orbit on, so I don't really actually want to initially be attacking this guy. I kind of want to be attacking this guy. I want to think I can run my booster pretty much infinitely as well. And we're just going to basically try and keep our orbit range at like 20 kilometers of the most things. But yeah, I think I'm stable. So I think if I go to my fittings, you'll notice that I'm cap stable, which means I can basically run my booster forever. So I can run my afterburner and booster pretty much forever, even if I don't need to. You might as well if you're cap stable. And essentially we can just AFK and let the guy auto orbit targets. I'm a little bit out of range though, so I'm just going to double check my battle settings, because it doesn't look like I'm auto orbiting my targets. Default by orbit range on. Maybe I turn auto attack off. There we go. Cool. I think it's doing it now. Good. So we're in range, and I think we should just be able to speed tank pretty much all of this. It will take me a little while to get through the battle cruisers, that's for certain, especially because I don't have the small drone skills to boost my DPS right now. But I'm just showing you that I can basically chill. I would like automatic lockback to be on though, because it doesn't seem to be working for me. I'm just going to double check. Battle settings. Auto attack the next. Automatic lockback on. Auto orbit target. Cool. Should be pretty much able to just sit here and do nothing now. So I am now going to not pay attention for a little bit whilst we sit here and do this. And again, we don't really need the stasis webifiers for a mission like this. We can just chill. And I kind of want to show you that it's pretty much 100% AFK. Like, pretty much you just orbit at 20 kilometers. You have absolutely no issues. I might set my orbit to, because I seem to be sitting at like 21 kilometers. So if I set my default orbit to 19, 19 kilometers. Maybe that'll get me slightly further in range. I basically don't want to have the potential of getting webbed. What are my drones doing? Oh, my drones aren't attacking, that's why. Okay. It was just my missiles that were attacking. Go drones, help me out here. And yeah, we should be able to sit AFK for a little bit. So I am going to stop talking now. I'm going to speed up the video for a little bit. And hopefully you'll just see me just being AFK for the most part. So I've had to come back off AFK here because I have just walked into web range, which is unfortunately one of the things that you do have to be a little bit aware of. That's why we try to orbit pretty much always at 20 kilometers. But even with the double web there, I didn't get taken out. I was quite far away from the majority of the other cruisers, which I was a little bit lucky about. I did wonder why I was taking damage and I hadn't taken damage the entire time. But we also have the damage control unit, which helps us out in sticky situations. So we also have been able to run our booster and be cap stable the entire time, which means that we haven't had to take our booster off for this entire engagement, and now we're back up to 100. We're also just getting out of range of the Algos, so just got to be a little careful when you are dealing with destroyers, especially in these missions, because they can often be have webs, and again, webs are speed tank's worst nightmare. We've only had one wreck this entire thing. I have been relatively AFK though. I've just been quiet, doing my thing. The one thing I did notice though is a little bit janky when setting up on a new wave. Like you kind of have to be here for a new wave. So when a new wave does come through, it doesn't look like you can automatically lock and start targeting and everything's going to attack at once. You kind of have to get the ball rolling to begin with, and then something I've also noticed is when you're out of range. I'm going to see, like, obviously I'm firing at the Myrmidon right now. I'm going to see if my drones automatically attack in range. Doesn't look like I do. So you actually have to set your drones. Or if you run out of range of a target, you do have to set your drones on the next target. So I would call this, like, semi-AFK. Like, obviously I have not been worried about dying. Even though I got double webbed, like, I didn't die. So I haven't been, like, super worried about dying, but clearly you do need to be here for at least monitoring and making sure that your weapons are attacking. This is also a little bit slower than I would expect if I had the proper drone skills up at like 320 DPS, mainly because you're going to get an extra, like, I could get like an extra 80 DPS with the proper drone skills out of this build, but obviously I don't quite have the skills for it right now. But I do love the ship and the build. I just need to invest some more skills to make it really good. I'm also really keen to make the Gila a thing, so I really want to be in a Gila eventually. That's like my ultimate goal, so I'll probably be like, I can use the Worm or the Gila for a specific scenario. But yeah, it's been relatively easy going, and this is a 1.5 mil mission, so you've got battle cruisers and everything. I don't think this would be, I don't know if a frigate would hold up well against elites. I haven't tried. I don't know if I want to try because I'm not running any warp core stability stuff. But if anyone has an experience of running the worm in like elite missions, then feel free to let me know because I'd love to hear about it. I've run a lot of the more basic missions, like this 1.5 mil one obviously is a little bit harder because it's got battle cruisers, so it takes a bit more time to get through. But I have run a lot of the slightly easier missions, and this has been a breeze. Like I've done them in 5 to 7 minutes, whereas this one obviously has taken a little bit longer because I was just trying to get some teething issues about the auto orbit and the damage coming through, but otherwise not a problem. And I've been, as you may have noticed, not really paying attention. In fact, I was actually sorting out one of my investment accounts while we would. I was sorting out one of my index funds while I was doing this, and now again it's kind of gone out of range. It will automatically get back into range on the next target, but you just need to be aware that your drones, unfortunately, will not automatically attack a target within range. So you need to manually set your drones to go to a target, and without the drones, you are missing quite a decent amount of DPS in this build. Had only one battle cruiser wreck this entire thing. So I'm basically gonna chill again until we are through to the end of this mission. And yeah. Okay, there we go. Easy enough. It took me 20 minutes to do that. Obviously, it could be improved with the right skills and also me not messing up my auto-orbiting stuff so much. But, I mean, like, the main thing is that I did it with relatively little even paying attention. Like, I was auto-orbiting at 20k, took almost no damage apart from when I got webbed. So you can run a booster and an afterburner and stay cap stable the entire time. Eventually you'll add 2 webs in to potentially deal with elites or ships that get up in close to you, which is obviously going to be important. The damage control system is there for a kind of a yikes moment, like if you're going to get attacked, it works really well. And yeah, pretty much was AFK the entire round. You just have to be careful when new waves come. You have to be careful if you go out of range. You need to manually set your drones again. But for the most part, it doesn't require as much attention as a lot of the other builds I've done. And it's just a really, really fun ship. And it also has a lot of PvP options as well, with very little adjusting needed. Like you just change some mid slots up, potentially swap your afterburner out for a micro warp drive, and then you can do some PvP. So it's good in that sense as well. Cool. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you soon.